Good morning. Welcome back to Sweet Beulah Farm. Today I'm in my garden and I thought that today would be a really great day for our first garden tour of 2025. Today is June 21st, so we are hitting the beginning of summer technically last night at like 10:36 or something. So it is officially summer, and so why not kick off summer with our first garden tour of the year. So for those of you who don't know, we are in zone 6A. We are close to Kansas City, and it's a little bit different. My last 4 years of gardening have been, I don't count last year, but before that have been in North Carolina. So we were in 8B before, so a little bit of a difference there. Humidity is way different. Pests are different, bugs are different, and diseases are a little bit different just because of the humidity. So it's honestly been a very nice welcome change. The weather has been beautiful. Yesterday was the first time we got above 90 degrees. It's been raining off and on. I think I've watered this garden actually myself like 4 times. I'm gonna water it today after the tour, but not very much. So honestly, it's been great weather, great watering. The only problem I have been having is with my soil, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and check out the garden. All right, starting off, this is kind of the top of our garden. This is kind of like a bigger gate for trucks or mowers or things, tractors to come through. And then down there we have a foot gate just for foot traffic. But up at the top, this is where we have our cut flowers. This is primarily my focus this year. I want to grow the vegetables, but I've really been wanting to do cut flowers and to sell them if we have an abundance. And so I'm not like making a living off of them or anything. I'm a stay-at-home mom. This is fun for me, but I want to be able to give to others what I can. And so we are hopefully going to have some sort of harvest here. This, by the way, I want to say that my garden I planned out from like a year ago in terms of the measurements and everything. We did not get to put in every single bed that I wanted to, so it's a little smaller than I intended, but I planted out a ton of plants thinking I was going to have my other beds, and so it's a little off, and I'll try to explain that once we get further along. But so these are the cut flowers. I have 15 beds. I have 3 rows of 5 here. And we have a ton, not a ton, but we have a lot of different flowers here. So what I did for spacing was basically 5 by 10 in terms of the seedlings. So I think it's every 9 inches. It's a 4 by 8 bed. So I think that math works out. So we have about 50 plants in each section. I think there's a couple plants that I did a little differently. I did closer, but for the most part, that's what we did for most of the flowers. So right here, my 2 beds, these are my 2 dahlia beds. I honestly don't know which one's which. I don't really care about labeling, to be quite honest. I'm not doing a breeding program here. I just want pretty flowers. But I will tell you that I have 2 different varieties of floret seeds. I have daughters of floret, and then, or petite floret, I think is what it's called, something like that. Daughters of floret, petite floret, and then I have bee's choice. And so those are my 2 dahlia beds. We'll see how those are coming. I pinched some that were smaller yesterday, and then I have some others that are coming up that are, you know, getting bigger. I have, let's see, oh, here's one. I have one that's starting to kind of make a head here. And so we'll see. I'm excited about this. I've never grown dahlias before, especially from seed. If you've never grown dahlias, I've like bought some, but not like cutting varieties. Dahlias, you can save seeds or you can save tubers if you want. If you find a variety, because these are all going to be kind of different, you find a variety that you really like, you can dig up the tubers and save them, and then next year plant them. You'll separate them out, and it'll be an exact clone of the flower that you grew before. if you save the seeds, every time you save a seed and every time you plant a seed, it's a completely new variety. So these are all going to be new varieties. So it's kind of cool. I get to like name a variety. I mean, I didn't breed them. Floret did, which is a wonderful farm. They do a lot of educational things. I love their videos online and on the Magnolia Network. So check them out if you haven't. But I'm really excited about these because they just do a really great job out there and they produce beautiful flowers. So these are the dahlia beds. Next I have two zinnia beds. These again are from Floret. I think I will tell you, I have some that I saved seeds from and some that I actually have the seeds that I bought from Floret still. So I planted some out last year and I saved the seeds. And I kind of think this bed is the ones that I saved seeds from, and these are the ones that I bought, only because the mix that was in the seed packet still was called unicorn mix from Floret, and you can kind of see why. They're very vibrant colors. They're beautiful, definitely beautiful. I love how these are starting to head up and fluff out a little bit more. So something that is interesting, if you've never grown these, are super easy to grow. You could still plant them and in my area and you would still get a harvest. So if you don't know how to look for zinnias to see if they're ready, I just take the stem and wiggle it. You can see how it's kind of like wiggling back and forth. And then let's see if this one does something different. So this one isn't wiggling back and forth. You see that? So that one's ready to be cut, but what I am gonna let it do is actually stay on there a little bit longer, because you can see in the middle, these flower petals are still coming on. And I know these can get a lot more full, a lot more beautiful over the next week. And so even though I could, you know, take it off because the stem is staying so straight and it's ready to go, I'm gonna let it stay on there so it fills out a little bit more. It is a little bit more like of a ball. So I think this is unicorn mix. And then over here, these ones I think are from my saved seeds, which is interesting. So they are, I'm trying to remember I don't know the exact names. These ones are really interesting because they're getting all spiky. All these are kind of spiky looking. And I don't know if that's because they crossed whenever they grew last year, but these ones are different petals. You know, you kind of see that versus the other ones. So, oh, this one's pretty. This one's really pretty. Yeah, the petals are a little bit more spiky, not as round, not as soft, but they're very, very beautiful. And again, you can see on the inside these petals coming out. So I'm gonna let it go. But this one, let's see. Yeah, this one could stay on, but they're very pretty. I like these ones. These ones are kind of pastels. And these ones should be hardier because they grew in my garden here last year. And usually if you save seed, they're a little bit more hardy from the area that you plant them. So yeah, so these are my zinnias. I love them. They're so cute. Something that you can notice is that we have netting up. We just put that up on most of our beds. We'll probably do more this morning for the last few. And the reason we're doing that is because a lot of these flowers get really tall and they're going to start being top heavy. They're going to start falling over. And I want to keep them straight. I want to keep them safe from any wind damage. We have pretty bad winds here sometimes. It's windy today, but it's not horrible. Hopefully you can hear me. I think you can. But kind of doing this, or you can even do a method of doing corralling. You can take just twine and you can have posts. We have wooden garden posts because Tractor Supply had them on sale, 5 for $10. You could do a T-post, but they're more expensive that way. So we did this for most of them, and then I ordered a 4x100 foot, a couple rolls off Amazon for netting. Here, this is a little bit of a sad bed. I need to come in here and fix this up, but I have some sunflowers growing. I planted these in here. Some of them took, some of them didn't, but I gotta weed the heck out of this and mulch it because I was kind of waiting for them to go, and they kind of took off this past week. And I'll probably honestly plant some in little containers first and then plant some more out in this leftover space. So So I don't really like this bed right now. It's really sad. Here are snapdragons. Here and here, this bed has quite a bit of grass in it. So I'll need to weed that. But these are really starting to take off. We need to net these soon. But I got all these from Baker Creek. I think it's called Orange, Tall Deluxe Orange, and then I don't know the other one, but you know, they're coming on. They're getting cute. I've cut a couple of them. They're definitely not, you see how they're bending over from the wind. We need to stake these for sure and net them. Oh, here's one that's open up a little bit more. I mean, it's a shorty, but that one's a little bit more open. So the more you cut on all these, or for the most part, the more you cut, the more you get, the taller they get. So these are kind of in their beginning stages. I won't be selling these just quite yet. I don't think they're sturdy enough. Their stems aren't strong enough. So I think in the next few weeks we'll be able to probably start actually cutting and putting bouquets together. So anyway, these are my snapdragons. I've never grown snapdragons before. I grew them from seed, and they are the smallest, teeniest, tiniest seed on the planet. They're like a speck of dust, and it's so cool to see now this speck of dust has turned into this. Isn't that amazing? It's like pretty crazy in my mind. Next I have 3 beds of celosia. So celosia is kind of like a feathery looking, these ones are kind of feathery looking. There's a ton of different looks to celosia. You can kind of see here, if I'll focus up on my little flower, it's kind of getting a little bit of that feathery look, but it'll get a lot bigger and a lot more feathery. And they're kind of soft, velvety looking. And so these are also from Floret, these 3 beds. This bed is called Rose Gold. This bed over here is called Sangria Mix. And then, gosh, honestly, I can't remember what that one is called. Man, I think it's called Wedding Pastel, I don't know, something like that. I want to say, oh, Vintage Rose. Somebody help me out. Vintage Rose, Vintage Gold. This is Rose Gold, so I think that's Vintage Rose over there. So yeah, so these are pretty. These ones I'm excited for because they are looking pretty strong for the most part. And so they'll get really big feathers, and they'll be really pretty. So I have this one. These ones are, this one is a better example probably of kind of how it is looking a little bit more feathery, and it'll fill out a lot. It'll get a lot taller. So that's the Sangria Mix, and that's really interesting because this is kind of like a more, they have more purpley. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but this is kind of a deeper purple. This is kind of more of a magenta. And then over here I'm seeing, this is a little bit more of like a hot pink. So it'll be cool to have a lot of these together so you could actually see the different colors. But again, these are from Floret. I spent a lot of money on these seeds because they're beautiful, and we'll see how they go. And I hope that other people appreciate them like I do, and people will buy some bouquets from me. Over here, these are a little bit more sad looking, and I'll explain a little bit more, but I think I have some herbicide drift problems in my plants or in my soil. I'm not quite sure which one yet, but these ones have had a little bit more problems with them. This is random. I had one die, but I had another one of these, so I put that one in there. I think I have one over there that's kind of similar, those 2 over there. Probably should have switched them, but whatever. Anyway, these ones kind of, you can kind of see right here. What we've had problems with is a lot of our leaves having kind of curly and weird, and then stunting. And so this specific variety has kind of had more trouble than the other ones. So we'll see how these ones produce. And then look at that, that's pretty. So we've been pruning off a lot of those leaves and then fertilizing. I'll kind of show you more with the tomatoes, but it seems like it's okay. We'll see how this one does. So celosia, 3 beds of celosia. Over here I have yarrow, and yarrow is pretty neat because it is a perennial. So it'll come back. I got a lot of grass in here. I got to get out of here. Holy moly, there's a ton. I have these weeds. I don't know what they are. I need to use my plant identifier app. These are so scary. They're super thorny. Like, can you see? That actually really, really hurts. It's not fuzzy at all. It actually is a thorn. Anyway, I have a common yarrow, and then I have a Colorado mix. So I planted these this year. I started them this year, and it's cool because they'll come back hopefully every single year. I've got a couple that are starting to get some heads on them, so that's really neat. Yarrow, if you did not know, is a medicinal flower, and what it can be used for, if you dry it, you can kind of keep it in a little jar and just take it with you hiking or something, or you just have this here for your kids who get in accidents all the time. It actually, if you crush up the leaves, it can stop bleeding very quickly, which is really neat. So my son actually busted his head open the other day, and I was thinking, should I go get some yarrow? But it was actually like a really kind of quick, scary situation, and we had to go to the hospital right away. He's fine. He's fine. He busted his head open, got 4 staples, but I did think about using the yarrow. We'll take a little break from the beds for a second and show you what we have over here. I have some rose plants here. These are looking sad. We really need to plant them. I just can't decide where I want to put them because they're like special, but now they're like dying. But here's a rose tree, and if you've followed before, this is a drop dead red rose, and it's not doing well, honestly. We're trying here, but it's okay. There's a couple blooms that look like they want to start again. But this actually is a special tree because one of our cats got hit by a UPS truck and passed away. It was my 5-year-old daughter's cat, and we buried her here, and it was very special. So this is Maple's rose tree. Update also, if you did follow us along for that, actually we had some kittens from her sister's s'mores 2 weeks ago. On Saturday morning we had kittens, so they just opened their eyes yesterday, and they're super cute, and I'll show you them in a little bit. Okay, here's another really sad bed. This needs to be weeded like crazy, but I do have marigolds in here. I planted just directly into the ground, and so I have a bunch of these little marigolds, and these are cutting varieties too. So honestly, I got them from Tractor Supply, so I don't even know what variety or what they are. So I just wanted some more flowers that were a little different and good for pests. So marigolds are good for pests. They kind of keep them away with the smell. So these are marigolds. Yeah, it doesn't look great. Right here I have a lace flower, and I have a blue and a white variety. I got them from Baker Creek. Some of them did not take very well, so you can see I have some space right here, but they're getting bigger, they're getting stronger. We'll see how this goes. I've never even seen this flower in real life, and I just thought they were pretty, so started them from seed, obviously. Yeah, but starting to get some buds on them, and we'll see what they look like. I mean, they kind of look like yarrow a little bit from what the actual bloom looks like. And over here, you've got a pretty little going of cosmos. These are really big. They'll get a lot bigger. Again, these kind of have had that damage, that herbicide damage, so you can see how curly they are, kind of stunted a little bit, but we're letting things go. We're kind of letting them try to mend themselves a little. I mean, I'm taking off and pinching certain stuff that looks bad enough, that looks like it's stunted a little bit, but the good thing is with this stuff, like the more you take off, the more it'll grow, because plants want to make seeds. So they make seeds with their flowers, and they want to reproduce. And so the more you actually take off, the more you're going to get, because it's telling the plant, I need to make more because my babies are gone. I have a couple varieties in here. I also have some over here too that I just had extra. So I have a apricot lemonade, which I think is these ones. I have no idea what this one is, but it's really cute. Can't remember what that one is. Actually, here's the apricot lemonade, I think. You can see the pink with the yellow on the outside a little bit. It's pretty. And then I have just like a lemonade one, which I have no idea. Oh, here they are. They're over here. I haven't seen them yet. I haven't seen them up yet. So it's just like a lemonade color. Again, again, these are all from Baker Creek, so hopefully these ones do okay with the herbicide damage. The flowers have not been lasting as long, I've noticed, as what they could, and so we'll see. And then I just have some random little bachelor buttons. I had some seeds and I was like, let me just throw them in. So these are doing well. They're really top heavy and they fall over a lot, and so I don't really like that, but I don't know. They're good. Their flowers are good for pollinators, and then they're fun for my kids. I like how they kind of dance a little bit, you know, when you kind of shake them, you can see that. So we have just like a white and purple mix here. I don't have much planted right here. I have some holy basil back here, and so I'm gonna try to use that as filler once it gets bigger. That's basically it for the flower beds. So you can kind of see now. Oh, pretty morning. It's hot. It's 80 degrees here for a morning in Missouri. So this is let me show you, this is the gate. We got our flags, American flags hung up, but Marine Corps flag, American flag, we did that the other day. So you can walk in. My idea is to put like a pergola seating area in the middle here, and then do smaller kind of beds, like 4x4, like over here, of herbs and berries and things. So that'll be eventually next year, not this year. So, and then over here we have our really long beds. I planned on having 4 of these, and we couldn't make it work. So we have 2, which is still substantial. I mean, these are huge. So 2 beds, and then I was planning to have 2 more. Next year we'll do that. But let me take you down and show you what we've got going on. So all the way down the middle here, I have a lot of sunflowers, and these are from Sunflower Steve. They are called Van Gogh's sunflowers. So Van Gogh, which I just love this little story. I have this like old, not a secret passion, but just like, I don't know, interest in art, and I used to be really good at it when I was younger, and I really just loved it, and I kind of have gotten away from it. I don't really do it anymore, but I do appreciate art. And I remember in like 2nd grade, Mr. Shell's art class, and I actually specifically remember learning about the different types of art and the different types of artists. Very vivid memory of 2nd grade. And you know, learning about Van Gogh, I cut his ear off and all that stuff. But learning about his art style, learning about Renoir's, and just all these different, Jackson Pollock, and learning about all these different artists, these influential historical artists, you know. And so it's really kind of fun. I've been looking for a copy, not a true copy, obviously it's very expensive, but just a copy in a nice frame of Van Gogh's sunflowers, because I think it's pretty. Actually, I'm looking at my phone, I forgot. I wish I could show you, but I have this phone case that's actually a Van Gogh's, a lot of his flowers into one. My phone case is blue, and it has all the different pieces that he's done of flowers and mixed together into different bouquets, and that's my phone case. So it's just kind of special. It kind of tugs on my heart a little bit, and this little thing that I still care about that most people probably don't even know. But anyway, these Sunflower Steve, he's developed Van Gogh's sunflowers, and they kind of look like his painting of sunflower. So if you haven't seen that painting, you can go check it out. So yeah, anyway, so these are these sunflowers. They're pretty. A lot of them are opening up. They're really small, honestly. They're smaller than I thought they would be. I thought they'd be a lot bigger, but you know, I don't know if that's my soil. I don't know if there's a nice one. I don't know what it is, to be quite honest. So, but it's all right. These ones are a little bit bigger. So I have these ones, and I have some over there too. But let me take you back over here. We've got peppers all along. This is a 48-foot bed, 4x48-foot bed. We've got peppers going all the way down. Some of these do have that herbicide damage a little bit. You can kind of tell they're kind of squiggly and hard and wiggly up here on the leaves, but honestly, a lot of mine are doing well. So I'm kind of starting to think it was an herbicide drift versus in my soil. So I have, ooh, look at that guy. This is a banana pepper. I've got banana peppers. Honestly, again, I didn't stake them. I know which ones I have. I know which varieties of peppers I have. But I have banana peppers right there. Oh, there's some more right there. So we got some banana peppers. I have jalapenos, which are down a little bit further, I think. And then I think this is a jalapeno, yeah. These are Craig's Grande jalapenos from Baker Creek. So those are all heirloom varieties from Baker Creek. I don't know how far down it goes. I think that's another one. So these are the biggest peppers I've ever grown, honestly. So I'm pretty excited about it. I need to prune them a little bit. Here I have shishitos. I have about 10 peppers of shishito, or plants that are shishitos. I love them so much. If you just take shishitos and you blister them on a hot skillet really, really fast, and then you make like an aioli, like a lemon aioli, and I put a little bit of like chili and garlic in it, like a chili powder and garlic in the aioli. Oh my gosh, and salt. You just sprinkle them with salt. They're so good, but no one else in my family likes them. So I grew like 10 plants worth, and that's gonna give me a lot. So I think we're gonna put that on our little stand. So that's the shishito. I love it. It's so good. It's not spicy, or 1 in 10 is supposed to be spicy. They're not. I've never really had a spicy one. I mean, you might have a bad experience, but I think they're awesome. And then I have a lot of onions here. They're probably gonna come out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So these are just a mix of onions, red, yellow, and white from Tractor Supply. We've got about 200 in there. And then we start getting into our just regular green bell peppers over here. My husband loves those. He loves green bell peppers, pepperoni, and onion on his pizza, and we love making homemade pizza. So that's that. Got some strawberries that need to go in. We're probably not going to get anything from those. I've been waiting too long. I've just waited too long on some stuff, but it's all right. We've had a lot going on. All right, here we are. Here we are at the tomatoes. So, background, let me tell you. So if you follow us on Instagram, you probably saw a little rant I did. Not a rant, just a sad rant a couple weeks ago when I found out we had some herbicide damage. And so again, I don't know if it's in my soil. I'm kind of doing a test to see. I still don't really know in my soil, or just if it was a drift. We have had some pretty windy days over the last month. There was like 3 days in a row where it was crazy, like 40-mile-an-hour winds to 70-mile-an-hour gusts, and they're all coming from the west, which is down there. The weird thing is that there's not a lot of conventional farms nearby, and I know I can get it from neighbors, but we have so much forest surrounding our property, like our whole property. Like it's surrounded by forest. The only thing that's not as much is over there, but I can't imagine it would have come over there from over there. I don't know. And not down there, like another 10 acres is our property in the woods. So I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. So anyway, I've had some problems with my tomatoes. They, for the most part, look like they're recovering. The leaves are opening up. So my problem is the leaves were really tight and curled and yucky and just like stunted. For the most part, I really do think that they're recovering. They're putting out flowers. Some have fruit. Some are looking really good now. There's a couple that are like, we'll see. But online says you could just pull it out because who knows what it looks like and what's going to happen. But I kind of am like, you know what? I'm going to give these guys a chance. I'm not going to replant my tomatoes. It's kind of too far for that in terms of the season. So we're going to see what happens. And I think it's going to be okay. I have noticed the things that look the worst and the things that are having the hardest time are my cherry tomatoes. So let me show you what we have. So I'll go down this way first. Oh my, this leaf got stuck. A lot of these have 2 liters. Some of them have 1, but I kind of like doing 2 liters. That's just what I prefer. Unless they've gotten, a little sick, I've cut off some. But these are, let's see, these are, I think, Paul Robeson tomatoes, which these are like my favorite tomatoes. One of my favorite tomatoes. And you can kind of see here, the leaves are kind of opening up. They're looking a little bit healthier. I'm trying to, oh, here we go. You can kind of see this is these were the old leaves, and they're all crinkled up and kind of just tight and weird. But they're starting to open up and they're starting to look a lot better, which is great. And we got some buds or flowers on them, so that's great. So we have a good amount of these. Honestly, don't know where they stop. This one doesn't look the greatest. Look at that. That one doesn't look good. I don't know. We'll see, guys. We'll see. I'm just letting them do their thing and just see what happens. I am pruning heavily. That's supposed to be helpful. And then what else I am doing is I am doing a good amount of fish emulsion. I did a good dose last Friday or Saturday, and I'm going to probably do one again in a few days, and then watering heavily. So this is probably one of my worst ones, to be quite honest. Doesn't look good. I have pulled some and I replaced with a few I got on sale at Tractor Supply. These like got burned, which is interesting, but these are Cherokee heirloom Cherokee tomatoes, and that is special because I actually really like those tomatoes too, and I forgot about them. I forgot to grow them from seed, so I didn't have them. And it's kind of special because my husband is actually Cherokee. He does not look native, I will say, like a Native American, but he does have Cherokee blood. I think he's an 8th, I think is what we did. His grandpa's dad is an 8th, that many generations back. Anyway, his uncle actually is a professor at KU, and he actually is very passionate about that, and has written a few books. And anyway, he's Cherokee. So I just thought it was fun to have Cherokee purple tomatoes in here because my husband and my kids have Cherokee blood in them. So I thought that was kind of fun. So then we get to these bad boys. These ones are the least affected. These ones are looking amazing. These are my Roma tomatoes, and they're from Baker Creek. All of my seeds are from Baker Creek primarily. So these ones have put fruit on, and they are just going to town. I'm excited. I'm gonna have a lot of sauces with these Roma tomatoes. So all the way down, you can kind of see we've got a lot of Roma tomatoes here. And these ones really, like, they looked a little worse earlier on, but now they're looking, the sun's coming up pretty. Now they're looking honestly really good. So these have recovered quite well, but they were not as bad as the other ones, I will say. So we'll see. So these ones look great. I have a lot of those, a lot of Romas. Okay, and as we get down here, I cannot even tell you which variety this is, but these are starting to get into our cherry tomatoes down here, and they don't look as great. They look a little sad. I think these are Brad's Atomic grapes and Barry's Crazy Cherries. And yeah, to be honest, they just don't look good. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they do anything. I'm just gonna let them go and see. Over here, I think these are Barry's Crazy Cherries too, but these ones are looking a lot better. These ones actually looked horrible. Like this specific plant, I remember thinking, ew, it looks bad. But honestly, they're looking a lot better now, and we're starting to get some fruit on them. So we'll see. It's just weird. It's like some of the plants look great and some of them don't. And then some of the same variety like look better than the others. I don't know. I guess that's what happens with drift, is it affects some plants and it doesn't affect others. I don't know. So yeah, so more Barry's Crazy Cherries. I have sunflowers back here. You can kind of see. Got some sunflowers going again. And then we get into, these are, what are these? These are Dr. Witchies, the rest of these, I think. So Dr. Witchies is a yellow slicing tomato. I've never grown it, but apparently they're very disease resistant and they're easy to grow. This plant looks a little kind of sicky, but a lot of them are doing okay. And so tomatoes, just, you know, tomatoes and legumes are hit with the herbicide a lot worse than other plants are, and so you're gonna see that versus other ones. So yeah, these are looking good for the most part. They're looking a lot better than what they did, so that's why I'm kind of hopeful. So I'm excited about that. So I'm excited to try Dr. Witchies because I've never tried them before. Also, you can see we run a cattle panel down to tie these up, and I just really like that method. I think it's pretty. Number one, it's easy to keep them upright, it's easy to prune, and so that's what we've been doing. It used to be not very expensive to do that. I swear, cattle panels have gone up in price by like $10 over the last like 5 years. These are 16-foot cattle panels. And yeah, they used to be cheaper. It used to be a cheaper way of doing trellising, and now it's kind of expensive, honestly. So I don't know if I recommend it for price, but it's nice, it's pretty, and it's functional. So we have our tomato wall going down. So yeah, down here, so this is my little test that I'm doing. These are green bean bush beans, and so I just planted these like last week, and some of them have come up really fast compared to my other climbing green beans, which gives me hope. And then some of them though still kind of have like a weird, can you see that? Like weirdness happening. We'll see if they live. This is what makes me feel like it's in the soil, just because of these weird beans. Okay, they say if the herbicide is in the soil and your soil is contaminated, that the beans will like barely sprout and then they'll die right away. So because beans are really, really sensitive to herbicide, and so these beans like look okay. A lot of them look okay. I don't know. I don't know what my problem is. I don't know what my garden's problem is. So we'll see. Here we have this is our pumpkin squash wall here, or tunnel that I'm doing. Again, cattle panel, I think it's beautiful. And then we have beans down the other end. But so right here I have, these are sugar pie pumpkins, and these are really good to make pumpkin pie out of. And let me tell you, I have never grown squash successfully. I have never ever done it because the vine borers are horrible. And in North Carolina, I feel like they're so bad. Last year I tried to grow some, but we weren't living here. It was just kind of a mess. But I've never, in like my 4 or 5 years of gardening, never grown squash well, which is supposed to be easy, but the vine borers have killed me. So this year I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen a vine borer, but I have seen some white moths, which is like the parent. I don't know. But I have been treating with BT. You can use BT. I'm just being overly cautious, and I've sprayed once. We'll see. I don't know. So these are my sugar pie pumpkins. I'm just like excited. I want to make Thanksgiving pie with it. Though I am kind of like, don't know what's going on. This flower and this pumpkin were looking great yesterday, and now look at that. Why is it doing that? I would think vine borer, but it's not. There's no sign of vine borers anywhere. And the plants are looking healthy. So this is one plant. This is 2 of them. These are like looking good for the most part. We got a little tiny bee in there. Can you see it? Little bee doing their job, doing his job, her job. Is that a bee? That kind of looks like a yellow jacket. I don't know. I can't tell. It's so tiny. But we have some more pumpkins, growing. So hopefully I get some. Is it just because it's first fruit? Like that was a first fruit and it just doesn't work out as well with the first fruits? Like here's one that doesn't look very good. Like why do some of them do this? I mean, can you see that? They just snap off and they're just kind of dry. But the other one looked great before, so I don't know. So we've got 2 more of those and another one here. And then I have a really neat little squash. This is called honey nut squash. And they're like a butternut squash, but they're kind of mini, personal sized ones. And so that's kind of fun. These are looking cute and good. And then these are tromboncino squashes. So these will get really big. I have another one that looks better. Here we go. Here's a tromboncino squash. So these are really kind of neat because you can harvest them small and eat them like a zucchini, or you can actually save them and you can cure them, and then you can eat them like a winter squash in the winter or whatever, like once they're cured. And so I kind of liked having that option of having these 2 ways of eating this squash. Oh, a bee, a really cute bee. So I like that you could eat them fresh like that or save them, because just food storage, I want to try to be doing that if I can. So I thought that was kind of a neat way. And then getting two birds with one stone, you know, if you will. So trombonzino squash, and yeah. Then we have all of our green beans. We have green beans here on a trellis. Those will go up all the way. I mean, they'll go crazy if they're not affected by the herbicide. So you can see here, this leaf is kind of like all curled and stuff, but then some of them look fine. I don't know, but they'll climb. These are gonna produce all summer if we let them. So we've got those, and then we've got some down here. Man, why is my stuff doing that? So we have more here. These ones didn't do a very good job coming up, see? It's interesting. So I planted some all right here. So regular, these are just, what is the variety? Just like normal old pole bean. I just think they produce well. So that's what the beans are there. And then over here, what I have going, I need to come out here and weed more, but I have like 3 rows of melons. I was planning to do melons like on the trellis like this on another bed, and I already had these going, and so we didn't do the beds, obviously. I didn't want to lose them, you know, and at least try. And so I didn't really prepare the ground or anything. I literally just dug it in. So because of that, I don't know how well they'll do, but I wasn't expecting to have to do that. So we'll see. I don't know. I have some watermelons all along here, just crimson red watermelons. And then I have some Kajari melons here. You can kind of see they're getting bigger. They're getting bigger. They're doing a better job for sure. These are Kajari melons. They're just like a regular melon. Cantaloupe, I think, is what they taste like. Here's a big one. But they're kind of personal sized. They get, you know, they don't get ginormous, so you can just grab them. And then over here is a sweet passion melon, and I think it's, again, just a general melon. I've heard it doesn't have much of a flavor besides just like sweet and refreshing, but it would be good to make like popsicles with and stuff. So yeah, and then I do have some cucumbers climbing up the fencing right now, and cucamelon. So cucamelon are little tiny, they're like a mix between they're like a citrusy, they're called mouse melons too, like a citrusy cucumber that's like a little ball, and they're really productive if you get them going. So I have a lot of them climbing right here, but again, I kind of just dug them in. They were supposed to be on a trellis over there by the tomatoes and stuff, but we didn't do them. So we kind of have them all here. Again, I need to weed. The grass is like beating me like every day. And so we have those cucamelons, and then over here we have Boston cucumbers, Boston pickling cucumbers, which we'll see if it's going to get too hot for these. I don't know. We'll see. And then we have some down here too. So I don't know if I'm going to get a harvest for my cucumbers again, or my melons. We'll see. I hope I do, but I don't know. So anyway, that is most of my stuff. And then I do have all my herbs and things. I was going to have them up here. Man, I think I did. Ow. I hit a thorn in my toe. I didn't want my herbs up here for the most part. I just felt like it's not that far of a walk from the house, you can see. But it is, you know, it's just not convenient to be cooking and walk all the way up here to get like a handful of chives or something. And so I do have 2 little beds down, raised beds I got from Aldi that were $30, and we put some little herbs in them just for the time being, and then eventually we'll figure something else out. And yeah, so that is really nice. I'll try to show you, because I forgot. I need to show you the kittens. They're so cute. What you doing? What you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Hey. I haven't really talked about, our dogs. This is Rogue. He is 10-year-old lab mix. I actually got him from my ex-boyfriend's parents when I was in college, my high school boyfriend. His dad was a yellow lab. And then Mattis, yes, he's named after General Mattis. Call him Mad Dog Mattis, just like the Marine Corps general. he is an 8-year-old full-bred German Shepherd. We got him up here 8 years ago, about an hour away in Chillicothe, Missouri, from a show breeder, and they're good dogs. They're good old dogs. All right, so here's our little herb garden situation. This is fun because the kids have kind of taken ownership of this, and I enjoy seeing that. This is nice because you can kind of see, you have our porch here, which is really big, but so they basically get morning light, and then about 1 o'clock they don't get any sun, which is great because the sun is really, really hot in the afternoon and in the evening. And herbs, especially like dill, I have some dill here that's still going, and then cilantro, like they don't like it hot at all, and they'll go to seed, and so the shade has been really helpful for them. So I have parsley, which I use to make a lot of chimichurri. I love dill because I've been making a ton of tzatziki sauce. I love that. Just regular Genovese basil, cilantro, chives. We have some chamomile here, and then lemon balm, best thing ever. The best aromatherapy. Like, you just smell it and it just calms you down. Aspen planted some flowers and she made this little cute thing. It doesn't have any drainage, so it's not doing well, but I need to do that. And then over here, these are not looking the greatest, but these are, I just had some extra herbs. So I need to redo this because I have my hard herbs and soft herbs. I don't really like them together. I kind of like them put apart. So hard herbs are like rosemary and like oregano, things like that you dry a little bit more. You can dry any herb, but then I have some more cilantro that's soft, and then I have some lemon, basil, and thyme. So they're not looking the greatest, but they're okay. But this is like a nice spot to have coffee at in the morning, and I've been really enjoying that. So, right, and then we had a windy mess, throw trash around. We haven't picked up yet, but hello, have you guys seen this? I don't think you have. Welcome to the lush grass area. Amazing, right? I think last time it was just dirt. My husband and then our friend, they came over to hang out and have pizza and stuff. Like, they drove a couple hours, and we went to go downtown, me and my friend, like the wife, Angie, and Jeremy, her husband, helped Josiah lay this. He did not get told that he was going to be helping do this project, but he did it anyway. And we came home and they had it done, and I like actually had a tear in my eye. Like, look at this. I mean, it's sod. It's amazing. It's just beautiful. Yes, amazing. So anyway, we go into our garage and we're gonna show you the little baby kittens. I don't know if my kids are up. I usually love showing everyone the cats. This is our mess of a garage. Messy, messy, messy. We're not unpacked all the way, but whatever. Like, whoop. This is all just like stuff we don't need right now, you know, but we don't have a good storage system set up. But this is our, you know, we work out in here, but the kids like to work out and put their bands everywhere and play. And look, hey S'more, she's a good mama. Hey, hi babies. So we have 4, we actually had 5, one didn't make it. So we have 2 girls and 2 boys. You are just the sweetest. S'mores is such a good mom, and she's just such a good cat. So we have 2 boys, 2 girls. Hello, little kitty. This is Nutmeg. This is a girl. She's got a little bit of orange on her, orange and black. We've got, this one's special. This one's special. Hi. This is a special little girl. This is a special girl because she looks like Maple, our cat that passed away a little bit. Black and white and orange on her, and that's what Maple was. And she's also a girl, and it's just really special because we lost Maple on like May 11th, and it was like June 7th that we had them. So we had a little bit of time to be grieving and sad, and then we have these little kittens now. And this one is so special because it looks like Maple and is a girl, and Aspen, this is Aspen's Rosie because Maple was buried under the rose tree, and so this is Rosie. So a sweet little girl. And then we have the boys. This is Coffee And then this is Chester Cheeto. Isn't he cute? I really wanted to name him Oliver from Oliver and Company, from that 80s movie. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that? Look at him, he's so cute. And they just started opening their eyes. Anyway, S'mores is a good mama, so yeah. We are trying to become a little bit more professional on our social media presence in terms of social media like Facebook and Instagram. And so if you're not following us over there, Sweet Beulah Farm, sweet.beulah.farm on Instagram. We're trying to do stuff over there for, we're kind of just trying to lean into our niche a little bit. We are a first generation farm. We are learning as we go, and we're veteran owned. My husband is a veteran, and if you want to know more about that, let me know, and maybe we'll do a video more about him and where he's at in life and what he's doing in that process, like an interview. That might be fun. And yeah, so veteran owned, first generation farm. We're focused on regenerative practices for the most part, and trying to just steward God's creation. So, well, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.